Once upon a time, in a beautiful green forest, there lived a little rabbit named Rabi. Rabi was adventurous and dreamy, and he loved watching the birds soar high in the sky. He would stand for hours, marveling at their wings as they flapped freely among the clouds. Every time, he would say to himself, "I wish I could fly. Life would be so fun if I could fly like the birds." One day, Rabi decided to try flying. He thought and thought, then came up with a plan. In his first attempt, he climbed to the top of a hill in the forest and said to himself, "If I jump from here with all my strength, maybe I can fly." And indeed, Rabi jumped with all his might, but of course, he didn't fly. Instead, he gently tumbled to the ground because the hill wasn't very high. Rabi didn't give up. He went to his friends to ask for advice on how to fly. First, he went to the wise owl and asked, "Oh, owl, how can I fly like the birds?" The owl smiled and said, "Rabi, not everyone is meant to fly. Every creature has its own special talent. Rabbits don't fly, but they're quick and skilled at running and hopping." But Rabi wasn't fully convinced, so he went to the eagle and asked, "Oh, eagle, can you teach me how to fly?" The eagle laughed and said, "Rabi, flying requires strong wings and special feathers, which you don't have. But you have strong legs that make you run very fast." Rabi began to feel a little discouraged, but he still didn't give up. He decided to make his own wings. He gathered feathers from the ground and tied them to his small arms. This time, he climbed a big tree. "Now I will fly," he said excitedly. He jumped from the top of the tree, flapping his wings, but instead of flying, he fell onto a pile of dry leaves. Feeling sad and frustrated, Rabi sat alone, thinking, "Maybe I'm not as special as I thought." At that moment, his mother passed by and noticed his sadness. She sat beside him and gently asked, "What's wrong, Rabi? Why are you so sad?" He replied, "I've tried everything to fly like the birds, but I just can't do it. Maybe I'm not special like they are." His mother smiled warmly and said, "Rabi, every creature has its own unique abilities. Birds can fly, but you are fast and skilled at jumping and running. That's what makes you special. Don't compare yourself to others, instead, discover what makes you unique and be proud of it." Rabi thought about his mother's words and started to appreciate the things he loved about himself. "I am fast, I can jump high, and I have great friends." The next day, Rabi decided to stop trying to fly. Instead, he returned to running and jumping through the forest. He realized he could jump higher and faster than any other rabbit in the forest. And when he ran fast, he felt the wind rushing past him, almost as if he were flying. In the end, Rabi understood that every creature in the forest is special in its own way and that he should love and appreciate what makes him unique. Days passed, and Rabi became happier and more confident. He no longer tried to fly but instead ran swiftly and hopped joyfully all over the forest. Everyone in the forest knew that Rabi was the fastest rabbit among them, and they always cheered him on and praised him. But one day, something strange happened. A powerful storm came to the forest, bringing strong winds that began to uproot trees and scare the animals. At that moment, a family of small birds got trapped in their nest at the top of a tree that was about to fall due to the wind. The baby birds cried out in fear, and their mother tried desperately to save them, but the wind was too strong. Rabi saw what was happening and decided to act quickly. He knew the birds wouldn't be able to fly in this harsh weather, and the nest was about to fall. He remembered his mother's advice about how he had special speed and skills.